Hello, how are you today? This is JilliBling. Today's project is using the bundle Fond of Autumn. So it includes the stamp set and the dies. And the dies are called Autumn Bouquet. And it's beautiful. It's a wonderful stamp set. Great words in it too. Love the banner. And then also using designer tags, dies, and that's mostly just for the words here. But I love this bundle, and after working with it, I learned a few things about it. First of all, the main image, the what do they call it? Autumn bouquet. These pieces, when you cut them out using the die, it cuts it out into 1, 2, 3, 4 sections. So it cuts out the flower separate, the acorn and oak leaves, and then also these little berries. It cuts them all out separate. So if you wanted to make a springtime card using this bundle, the flowers are perfect for springtime, for any season. You can make them red and make them kind of maybe a Christmassy flavor. And with these little berries on it, you sure could do that. Or just have it as foliage, or just the autumn leaves. So today's project I want to do, mostly, I want to really focus on the acorns. And I saw this project online on Pinterest, chasingjoyboutique.com. And this design is it's very similar to hers. And I just love it. I love the soft colors. The oak leaves, not quite sure that they're crumb cake in real life, but I love the way it makes the acorns really stand out. And just a little bit on the inside. So this is today's project. Put it right there. So the embossing folder, I already stamped that. Convenient. So the soft succulent paper. Also, if you're in the US and if you buy the bundle through me, I'd love to send you, I'm going to be doing 5 different designs using this bundle. I'd love to send you one of each of the card kits. So in your card kit, there is 3 pieces of soft succulent paper, 2 of the larger pieces, and then one that's just a little bit smaller. The smaller one goes into the embossing folder. I like to use this line to kind of line things up. Most patterns are, well, some patterns are directional, others are not. This one I don't think it's too important, but I just like to use that as a reference. So here is that. When you look on here, you're like, I saw only 2 pieces of soft succulent. So there's the inside layer, and then there's also this piece that's textured, and then a piece underneath it. Just for layering, just for like the nice shadow effect on it. So let's start with this piece here. And I'm going to use a sponge dauber and my succulent ink pad. My big one is somewhere in use. And just apply a little bit of color to the edge just to differentiate it from the paper below it, the soft succulent paper below it. And also it highlights a little bit of the texture from the embossing folder, which is nice. Might need to re-ink this. So I started this video a few minutes ago, and darling Bo, who has been with house sitters and dog sitters and spent a little bit of time outside. He has this bald spot on his thigh, and when he's outside he always thinks the bugs are landing on it, and he's always over there looking and looking. Anyhow, when we're gone, he seems to be looking at it a lot and licking it a lot. And he licked it so much that he made himself an ouchie. So he's in the cone of shame till it gets better. I'm thinking maybe a week only. But this morning I had him out of the cone, and as I started the video, he was stretching, and I could tell he was rolling around on the floor upside down. Then he started licking the thing. Had to stop the video, restart. But that's okay. He's back in the cone. Can't get it now. Actually, he has, it looks kind of like a travel pillow. So it's not that big old cone. That big old cone, he'd come up with that thing and just plow through and knock us off our feet. Big boy. Okay, done with that. And here, pretend, oh, you know what? Let me show you. You would think, okay, just stamp it. The words in here. And here's the die. But things aren't always as easy as they should be. Because I stamped it. Woo, great. But look, it doesn't fit. Okay. So if you lay it right down here, stamp it, then it fits. And if you're like, well, hey, you're cutting off some of the words, just think with dies, many times there's the cut image a bit inside from the outside edge. It's like maybe a 1/16 of an inch, a little bit of extra room. Sometimes you have to think about that because it fits just perfect. Just a note. Okay, hold on. So, good enough. You could still see what it says. So that will go on here. Okay, what do we have here? This is thick vanilla cardstock for the paper base. Good. And you know, if ever your crease, like I'm seeing right here, it looks like a bit of the paper. I bet you if I score it, pull out my score tool, it wouldn't cause that little paper cracking. But I'm lazy. Actually, I have a few paper cracks. If ever that happens, watch this magic. Turn it the other way, and it's magically smooth again. And it doesn't do that the second time around. So, I guess that's just the lazy way of doing things. So this is going to go on here. This is a textured one. So this one I'm going to put on with, I'm loving my liquid glue these days. Seems like forever since I've been in my room. I'm thinking like 3 weeks, something ridiculous. I miss it. And it's a mess in here. I just put stuff, yep, I gotta do that. Yeah, I have to do that. And it's, oh, soon. Sure makes me appreciate being at home. But on our trips, we had a good time. But it's good to be home. And today we have class, which is always fun. And Carolyn and Lori are visiting from Sacramento. That's always fun. Okay, so these white papers, this is going to go on top. There are 3 of them. This one is obviously a different size. That one is for these top acorns. Like right through there. That's a separate piece. Okay, so that's this one. Then these 2, it's hard to see white on white or vanilla on white. This one perfectly fits on the inside. And then this one gets the bouquet stamped on it. And this one gets the bouquet stamped on it. Okay, memento, bouquet. And because this is a little bit big, I like to ink it upside down so I can make sure the ink goes on there really well. And when you have a polymer stamp, 2 things. One of them is stamp on a pad, like see this pad here, or your Stamparatus pad. Just because polymer is great, it's very economical, it's great to see through it, but there's not that foam cushion that we get on red rubber. So stamp on a foam pad. And the second thing is polymer particularly. It kind of beads up the ink. So when I was applying the ink right there, I noticed it beading up. if you take your stamp and wash it a few times, like you could put, some people say put Versamark on it and then wash it a few times. What it is when you first get your stamp, it kind of has a coating on it, and you want that coating off. So if you ink it, wash it, ink it, wash it, that will get the coating off. Sometimes I take a nail file and very lightly go over it, but if you're not real careful, it could create havoc. Okay, so it's going to go on like that, but I see my ink kind of beading up. I'm going to put some more on. And also when I color this with the blends, any place that doesn't have perfect line art coverage, when I color it, the human eye fixes it. Like on here, it's a few places, but you didn't even notice that, huh? Okay, so we'll use this for the inside in just a minute. Just a little bit. Okay, so now I have these two, and you could see, well, it didn't stamp very well there, but it'll be okay. So this stamp, this die, see how this kind of is all like a rectangle, and then this sticks out? Look at this part that sticks out. Not that I was turning it and turning it, trying to figure it out. Just saving you from that. And if you put washi tape on your dies to hold it in place, put the washi tape right here in the middle, and I'll show you why here in just a minute. Okay, so I'm looking at this, lining it up, looking at that. Okay, I'm going to run it through. Look at that. And don't worry, we're going to do some coloring on the inside. Not that it's hard, but sometimes I get messages, I want to see you do the coloring. Okay, and now this same die goes right on here. And now you know why I suggested putting the washi tape right in the center. Because if it was on the outside edges, you'd have to pick it up and move it over to here. Just for this little piece. And there it is. Isn't that pretty? Don't you love the way the acorns stand out with the soft succulent? Pretty, pretty. Okay, so that die cuts things into 3 pieces, 4 pieces. Flowers, oak leaves, and acorns, and little berry pieces. So they are right here. But they easily fit right back together. So if you're doing a springtime card, do those flowers in nice bright colors. Or if you're doing a Christmas card, you could use these little berries and make those maybe red flowers. Or if you want just autumn, just do a whole bunch of this one, and you could position them like everywhere, anywhere. Make a beautiful little bouquet. Okay, so let's work on the front of the card. This is inside, inside, inside. I need to get that texture, this texture piece. So see how we sponge the outside, how it stands up against this soft succulent layer? I'm going to use dimensionals. And because this is so well textured, and it's a little, I don't want to say wrinkly, I'm going to put more dimensionals on here than I normally would. Otherwise, I'll have the ends popped up nicely, but it'll have like a big old divot. I could use the edge. No divots here. Yeah, lots of dimensionals. Okay, that's a lot. But if you don't, if you don't, which is just fine, and you see that your paper is kind of dipping a little bit, like even this, I could see the little dips. You can always take your snips and a dimensional and just kind of tuck it in. Oh, I've got so many on here. Just kind of tuck it in a little bit and then put it in place. Okay, so we're done with that. So now the layout for, I like how this one is. Oh, you know what? I want to try it a different direction. So I like how these leaves are going up over there. And I'm fine covering up a lot of the flowers. Well, how do they fit in? I think this is, gotta be smart. Okay, it fits in like that. So I want to put it kind of close to that. Maybe, well, I have that other layer of oak. Little acorns. So I'm just going to kind of put these, like just guess where they should go. Okay. Now this one, oh, I remember what I did. Okay, here we go. Acorns. It's all about the acorns today. So, cut it in half. Thinking like this. And that one could go in the middle. I think I want the acorns because they're heavy. Ooh, there's one acorn there. Ooh, that looks good. Because now you can see more acorns. Kind of losing that little leaf. Well, if I lose it, I'll take it. Okay, that looks good. Now I got a bonus leaf. Don't want to lose all these berries. I colored them. They want to be seen. Okay, this is looking good. Okay, something like that. So I'm going to start with everything on the bottom that's going to get glued. Don't move, little bits. And I could always add more glue later if needed, but I think it's going to be fine. I like the leaf right up there in the corner. Okay, that's where that one's going to go. I'm fine covering up some of the flowers because I want this to be mostly about acorns. How about this one? Oh, these are down underneath lower. And you know, this whole image, it's just so pretty. I don't think you could do wrong. I don't know. A little bit of glue. So we have wildfires here in Oregon, and it's particularly bad right now. It's Oak Ridge, which is like 30 miles away, over mountains. they just went on evacuation last night. Like, you must go. And that's where Kathy and David bought their property, and they brought their first load of belongings up. We have a couple of those pod things here on the property for them, and they brought up 2 loads, 2 trailers, and they're like, I think we need another pod. So now they have 2 pods here. But they came up, next morning unloaded it, went and did a few errands, like getting a post office box, and turned around and went back home. So it's kind of exciting. But their house is right there in Oak Ridge, and that looks bad. That looks bad there. Can I lift it? Huh? I think it just needs to be tucked in further. Okay, more glue. I'm surprised at how well that came up. Doesn't always work like that. I probably should have planned better. Like had a definite plan rather than kind of winging it. But I love those berries. Okay, there it is. And look at all those acorns just shining bright. Okay, getting there. Okay, just a note, we'll go on with dimensionals. Because it's so fancy here, no dimensionals there. So 2. And, oh, it's just hard to cover stuff up because it's pretty. Oh, acorn, I don't want to cover that up. Okay, there it is. But we all know it's pretty underneath there. And linen thread that decided it was ready to be used before I was ready to use it. Kind of a mess. But I'm going to make a double bow. See, whenever I have, or a triple bow, when I have little problems like that, you all are so kind and you leave me comments. Well, you know, you could do this. I appreciate that. I appreciate all the comments. There's a few people that comment every time, and it's nice to know. It's nice to know you're watching. So I love your comments. Did I do that crooked? Well, it's dimensional, so even if it is, I could move it. Okay. So that could go there. So triple bow. And I have a video, one of the very first videos I did. So if you go to YouTube and up at the top you click library, or I think it's called just videos. Scroll back to like one of the very first videos, or I could send it to you, and it shows how to make double bows. Okay, so I'm going to start out with rolled up glue dot. Just plain flat, it's too big. That go right here. Just like that. And I know it covers up some of the words, but a little bit is okay. And then, to make sure it stays, with all the bows, I've just been doing this lately. Just a little bit of glue, because it's not going anywhere now. Okay. This is like the first time I've crafted in 3 weeks. Okay, that looks good. Okay, and then bling. Gotta have bling. I think it's Elegant Faceted Gems. Elegant Faceted Gems. And I'm going to use these petal pink ones. I think I put 5 on there. Oh, some of these, where I pulled it up, you're kind of seeing the pulled up 1, 2, 3, and a couple of little ones. I love these gems. I'm so happy they're still here. 4, 5. Isn't that pretty? Okay, so for the inside, what did I do here? Oh, that looks good. Thank you. The bouquet with mostly acorns and then a little bit of the freestanding stuff up there. Okay, so I'm going to do the same. Thank you. Thank you. We should, a friend of mine says, I have all these cards. I have all these thank you cards and I need to make something else. I'm like, no, you need to send more of your thank you cards. I think we all need to send lots of thank yous. Just to be nice. Okay, more acorns. Okay, taking a risk at holding it and stamping. Okay, it's going to be there. Okay. Oh, it came out beautiful. It's kind of, maybe I'll take some of these little leaves. Oh, I could have taken the freestanding one. That's okay. Maybe just a little bit. Yeah, just like that. And what about these little bitties? So the stamp set has the 3 separate ones. So I'm going to use some of these at the top, just like in right here. Should have masked it, but that looks good. Okay, less is more. Just try to leave it like that. And you know what? The more stamping I do, the more coloring I have to do. I always get carried away. Just a little bit more, but no need. Okay, so the colors I have are Petal Pink, Soft Succulent, Crumb Cake, Suede, and SU100 and SU200. And those are the skin tones. So I will start with Petal Pink and do flowers and berries. Berries. And I'm just doing the places where I'm thinking the Petal Pink is a little bit heavy in color, like at the bottom shadowed part of the berry. Okay. Then Petal Pink Light, and I'll fill in the rest of the flower petals. And then almost all of the rest of the berry. I'm trying to leave one little round dot as like a highlight. Where there's no color. Usually I work on white and not vanilla. So it's just a little bit different. Oh, I already did that one. But see how I'm leaving that little dot of no color? That's the shining highlight. Okay. And succulent, and this time I'm trying something a little bit different. So I'm doing succulent on all the leaves except the oak leaves, and I'm coloring it all in. And you know, with the vanilla paper, I found it doesn't absorb the ink quite as nicely as the white. So just do like one good solid layer of the light color, where on the white I would do 2 layers of each of the colors. Just because this has a tendency, the vanilla, it has a tendency to kind of bleed outside the lines, the memento line art image. So if you just don't saturate the paper as much with color from the marker, it looks good. Usually I start with the dark and then go over the seam with the light, but trying something a little different. I think whatever works for you is good. So at this point I'm just doing all of these leaves in soft, succulent light. This card would probably be really pretty done in any greens, like the evergreen. That would be pretty. Some of these little bits of the image down on the lower bottom part, like I'm not sure what that is. I'm gonna have to look at the stamp case and figure out what these things are. Do I color it green? Is it an acorn? Or an oak leaf? Okay. Like, I don't know what this is. I don't know what that is. That looks like a berry. Da-da. 1, 2, 3. This is a berry. Okay. And this is, that's a leaf. Okay. What is this thing? Oh, that's the center of the leaf. Got it. Okay, succulent light done. Succulent dark is just going to be the flower or the leaf center spine thing. I'm sure if you're a botanist, the study of plants, I'm sure you would have a particular word for the leaf center. Okay, and next is crumb cake light, and that's going to be all the oak leaves. I had fun coloring the outside parts. Kind of wanting to do it different, like different colors, but these go so well with the soft succulent paper. And there's 5 more designs, so plenty of opportunity. One of them will be all flowers. Then I can use my parakeet party green. I love that color. Oh, and the flower centers are crumb cake light. Okay. I think my crumb cake light might be getting a little tired. So far, so good. Oak leaves. I guess in the winter, before they fall, they don't get those beautiful red colors. They just turn kind of brown. So maybe this is somewhat authentic. Maybe. Okay, I think that's it. Then Crumb Cake Dark, just to do the veins. Just one layer over them. And it works really good if the crumb cake light is still, it's still a little bit wet from coloring. Just kind of blends in there. And there are these little stems that get some color. Okay, looking, oops, this one right here. And you know the little berries, they do have a little bit of a stem on them. And I tried to color them, and I kind of just made a mess out of it. So if you got a brand new marker, you could probably have success in coloring. My markers are a little tired. Okay, so this is Soft Suede Light, and I'm doing this just on the acorn cap. And then I'll go and put some low lights, shadows, on the details of the cap with Soft Suede Dark. So smoky here from the fires. The house is all buttoned up, but oof, it's hard. I think Kathy and David's property, good thing they're not on it. At this point, I think it might be in danger. Yeah, they're all evacuated up there. They said we might lose power, and we didn't, but the kids did. They're like, come over, come live here. But they're toughing it out. Michaela has wedding dress fittings today. She's like, oh, but I wanted to be cute for it. And it's like, oh my gosh, that girl is beautiful no matter what she does. She wakes up and she's just beautiful, just a natural beauty. She doesn't even know it. She's just so pretty. She's a good girl. Wish I could be there. I have class though. I was at one of her, I don't want to say fitting because she hasn't picked a dress yet. Her dress trying on. That was fun. I was so happy to be invited and a part of it. Okay, so that was SU 200, and then this one is a little bit of a deeper, heavier hue, and this one is SU 100. I wanted the acorns to look real, kind of like red-brown. This achieves it perfectly. Oh, I didn't do the dots on the flowers. I'll get there. Hope this isn't taking too long. If coloring drives you crazy, takes too long, let me know. Because usually I just have them done, and then a few people have said, but I like to know how you color it. So do a little bit. Okay, so we are done with the coloring. Oh, except for the dots. So that's crumb cake, light. I'm going to do suede light right in the middle, and then just I don't need to color them in perfectly. Just dots. Okay. So could it be? Oh, I got my new gizmo. Stamp and seal. I got my refills. It's gonna work. This stuff sticks. It sticks good. Look at that. Yeah. Kind of like it going this direction. Whew. It really sticks. Okay, so that is today's project. What do you think? Okay, until the next one, it's going to be a series of 5 of them. Got them all picked out, ready to go. So I hope you have a great day, great weekend, and take care.